Hmm.
I can hear somebody, so maybe they can hear me. Meeting an hour? Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, Jill, are you there?
The meeting for the month of March is called, the regular meeting is called order. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, liberty and justice for all. The board members should have the minutes from the February meeting in front of them, the February 12th meeting. Can we do the approval of the,
There should be 4 sets of minutes.
yeah. Is there any problem with doing approving all 4 at once?
Make note where people all meetings.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
David,
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Chris.
I abstain, I missed a couple
Okay.
of meetings.
Frank,
Aye. The motion carries, the minutes are approved. We'll move into correspondence. The first letter is regretfully from our code officer, Fred Cullen, that is, leaving us for greener pastures. Or bigger waters,
Yeah, because that little bastard.
effective May 9th. So everyone should have that in their packet.
So we have to approve that or?
Yeah. Well,
Thank you, Greg.
yeah, we very much appreciate all of your expert work for the time. Where's the champagne? The check is in the mail. There's a report in the package by the recreation department. We will be able to read through at your leisure. We'll move into public comment, and Joe, you have a floor.
Thank you very much. I'll try and be brief. Why are you looking at me?
I've heard that before.
You know I'm looking at you. I don't know, everybody's laughing.
You know, the operator over there is trying.
Listen, I thought what I do tonight, just give you a quick rundown on what we're doing, the projects that we're doing over there. And the money that we're spending, you know, from this ARP money and from our fund balance. So I'd start off with by saying that the project at the Emergency Services Building is well underway. The second floor has been completely gutted. It's wide open now and ready to start, you know, the work that needs to be done. The whole idea behind this was to improve and update, renovate a building that has been there now for upwards of 30 years. And to make more room for our emergency services people, the dispatchers that handle all of the 911 calls that come into the place. With 3 stations that we had there, it was inadequate. It wasn't doing the job. And with this, we have 4 operating stations with enough work having been done to man or woman 2 more spaces should it be needed. The equipment is all new, or will be all new when it is installed. Motorola is the provider of the equipment. They did it by bid. And a lot of what we're going to need is already on site, and once they get you know, the wiring done and the grounding of the building, which is apparently quite an extensive process, just grounding things, that will be put in place. The likelihood is that it's going to be a year before that is ready to be up and operational. In the meantime, the staff of the 911 and emergency services that were housed there have moved to our backup location in Messina, which sort of left us in a little bit of a quandary that was solved when we received our new, I guess you'd call it a command center or something along the like, in the form of you know, pretty good sized vehicle that is equipped already with all of the instrumentation and stuff that we would need to be a backup to the Messina location should it go down. So there's a lot of redundancy with equipment, with what we're doing to try and make sure that we're prepared for any emergency. Just the building costs are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 to $8 million. Well, I thought you'd all like to know where we spend your money and where we're spending money that we get. And I would say that most of the money that we're spending is either ARP money or it is sales tax money that has been salted away and to be used for things just such as this. One of the other things that we're doing is we have in St. Lawrence County almost 540 miles of county road. Those miles are all the responsibility of the county. And some of them are in good shape. Some of them have recently been done. Case in point would be the Black Lake Road, County Route 4, Hillware Road, and several others throughout the county. With the funds that we have budgeted, we can do about 44 miles worth of road in the summertime. With the largesse in sales tax that we've had come in. And with some of the ARP money, we're going to double that this year. And we will end up doing 88 miles of road. If you stop and look at 540 miles of road and the initial 44 miles that we could do a year, you're never gonna get done and you're never gonna have them all, in good shape. This is, spending money wisely, and do it, adding it by a factor of 100% of this past year's what we're going to do this year. So hopefully we'll see an improvement in the roads and whatnot. And you can bet that your dollars are being well spent with our highway department doing the majority of the work. Some of it's going to get bid out because we just don't have the personnel or the equipment to do 88 miles of road and get it all done in the summer. So in addition to that, there'll be another 3 bridges replaced this year. They're not down in this area, they're up in the central and northern part of the county. But that benefits everybody also. We're also going to be putting a new roof on the Human Services Building on Route 310. We will also be digging up that parking lot, whole parking lot around that building. And there's a significant water problem in there that doesn't want to go away. And it's to the point now where something needs to be done. So we're going to go in there with our highway department. They're going to excavate it, put new base material down and get it blacktopped so that it is in much better shape than it is now. One of the things that interests me is that in 2032, the ownership of that building is going to revert to the village of Canton, assuming they want to take it over. That was part of the deal that was made when Canton, village of Canton and St. Lawrence County got together, and it was decided that they bond for that, and it's been bonded for, and we're paying that bond off to the tune of about $40,000 a month. It won't be paid off until 2032, at which time the day it's paid off, it reverts to the village of Canton. It creates a problem for the county, particularly if the village of Canton doesn't want to rent space in it out. We would have to be looking for a location for several of the county departments that we have, housed over there. So that's another consideration. It's a long time consideration, but better, at least it's in the forefront of people's minds that is not our building. And we're using it, and we'll use it after 32 at the will or not the will of the village of Canton. So that's one thing that's going to be coming up. We're going to see a new family court judge elected this fall in St. Lawrence County. And to accommodate that judge, the Office of Court Administration wants some significant room in the current county courthouse. To do that and to accommodate them, it means relocating, I would tell you, the district attorney's office, the probation department, and a sprinkling of other smaller departments that are located within the space that the courts appear to be interested in. That is already, the engineering is being done now in order to come up with a plan on what we're going to do with it. And once that's done, bids will be let. And right now, the talk is that if we started it today, the project would end in about a year. So it's going to be a huge project, and I have no idea, neither does anybody else, on how much it's gonna cost. We're hoping it doesn't end up like the debacle they had in Watertown, when they were ordered to build a new courtroom down there. And I forget how many millions of dollars it was, but Watertown bought, Watertown, I'm not sure if they took it to court or not, but the state backed down. And now they only have one city court judge down there. The problem that we have up here with family court is that family court in St. Lawrence County has the highest caseload of any family court in the state of New York. And there's one judge running it. I don't know how you maintain your sanity, particularly with everything that goes on in family court and the crush of all the work that they have to do. I don't know how they maintain their sanity working in that place, to be honest with you. Hopefully another judge up here will lighten the load. It's going to create a problem for us as far as where we're going to house these people that are going to get yanked out of that building. And it'll also cause a problem trying to give the state Office of Court Administration what they want. So we'll have to wait and see. One of the things that we just passed on Monday night was the purchase of an airboat. And you ought to be happy about that. I will tell you that I voted against it. Okay, and the reason I voted against it is, let me tell you what the airboat is. It's a flat bottom boat, and it doesn't look like any airboat that you've ever seen. It's actually, there's an enclosed cab on it. It seats 4, and it's got a big airplane prop on the back of it that drives the thing. It's flat bottom. All right, flat bottom means it's not worth its salt on the St. Lawrence River. One of the selling points of that was we've got 70 some miles of St. Lawrence River, beautiful, pristine St. Lawrence River that a lot of people use. But on any given day, particularly with the wind, you can't drive a flat bottom boat out on that river. You just can't handle it, particularly at the speeds that something like this would get up to. What it's designed for is use on lakes and things like that, where it is still water. All right, that is not still water out there. And the reason I voted against it is because it can't be used on the river. If you take a look at the configuration inside of this thing, there are 4 seats in it, 2 and 2, and very little room to do anything else. If it's a recovery operation that this thing would be used for, you're looking at divers. There's not enough room in that boat for equipment and divers to work, plus the people that are tending to the divers. And having 2 people that know what they're doing operating the thing. I won't go into any more of a long-winded explanation about this thing, but for that and several other reasons, I didn't think that we should be spending upwards of $200,000 for this kind of a boat, not counting the equipment that would need to be purchased and installed in this boat in order to give them communications and everything else that goes along with the equipment. So it passed 10-5, and there was a rather lengthy back and forth over the purchase of this thing. It's currently in Wisconsin. It's a used boat. It has 11 hours on it. I question why somebody would spend this kind of money on a boat. Have the value of it decreased by $50,000 and then get rid of it. I can't imagine, what it is, but it's It's been passed, it's going to get bought, it's going to get brought to St. Lawrence County. And I truly hope that with this kind of an investment, that it will be useful. The only thing that, or I would say the major thing that emergency services was looking at this for was ice rescue. You drive this thing up on the ice all day long, and that's why it's got a flat bottom. Out there, you need a V bottom in order to be safe and secure. But on ice, it's the perfect kind of a boat for it. So that's where we are with that.
Sort of like buying a small building using the few months a year.
You're speaking of the
It's
question.
it's like buying a snowmobile, you use a few months a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this year.
The last thing I would just tell you is that one of our big expenses has to do with recycling and solid waste. And all of our solid waste goes to Rodman in Jefferson County, up there in northern Lewis County area. But our recyclable materials go to Liverpool. And we make a trip every day to Liverpool with a truckload of compressed recyclables. Where it is inspected, and there are things that end up in that stream going to Liverpool that are not recyclable. What do they do with those? They bring them to a landfill. They're not a dock, and they're disposed of down there. The state of New York is well familiar with how this is going on and what is happening with what has been touted to be recyclable material. And I don't know if any of you wash your peanut butter jars out or the plastic peanut butter things before you put them in the recycling. But you're wasting your time, because when they get to Liverpool, they get separated and they go to a landfill. They are not recyclable. And it isn't just that, there's many other things that are not recyclable. If you were to take shredded paper, for instance, and put it in with your recyclables, a bag, but that whole bag is now contaminated and they can't use any of it, and then all goes to that. We met with Dank trying to get them to accept some of our stuff. That, we could hopefully take some of this stuff out of the waste stream and either recycle it like paper or glass. But Dank doesn't want to have too much to do with it. And it creates a problem in that, it's killing us cost-wise. Last year, I should say last year, the year before last, in 22, our fee for getting rid of recyclables was less than $15 a ton. $15 a ton in Liverpool. This past year in 2023, the price went up to $110 a ton. And it's killing us because we're trying to maintain the tipping fees at the solid waste station. And it's a little bit tougher to do when you've got to pay 10 times what we paid the year before for disposing of stuff. And bringing stuff down there that is never going to get recycled in the first place. So there's got to be something with the state of New York that will allow for the local a way to locally deal with this stuff. It never gets into the recycling stream. And that was the reason for Dank, the meeting with Dank. I'm sure they felt the pressure, but they didn't cave. So we're still in the same predicament that we are in already. And, we'll have to see how that works out as time goes on. So, other than that, those are some of the high points. I could go on.
I
But
have some questions about that. This is,
if Chairman says it's all right for you to ask me a question, I can try to answer
is this household,
it. Is it what?
is this household trash we're talking about or?
Yeah.
So is the problem that we have been educated improperly? You mentioned the peanut butter, I do wash my feet, I do. Is this because we've been educated improperly and we're recycling?
Well, this goes back to Mr. Randolph's time on the board, I do. Not that he had anything to do with it. But you'll know very well what I'm talking about. Is way back, and I can't tell you how many years ago, I remember as a much younger man. Hearing about, we're gonna burn all our trash. And that was, thought to be the way to proceed with dealing with our solid waste, is incinerating. Well, that raised the ire of, a lot of folks, all right? A lot of folks were against what another lot of folks wanted to bring forward. And as a result, it died. And then now we had to go, okay, how are we gonna do this? I say the legislature at the time, how are we going to deal with it? So, it's my understanding that somehow along in that time, that's how Dank came into existence. And they opened up a landfill in the Rodman. And that's where we take it all now. That is it's jointly run, owned by, if you will, by St. Lawrence Jefferson and Lewis County.
Interrupt Joe, I thought it would be effective.
Ah,
I'm saying, do we need to be educated again? on what
Well,
policy
I tell you,
is
the
today?
only way that you're gonna solve this is to go back and the end user of all of this stuff is you and me.
Do
And
we
so
need
we're
more
looking much
education?
like, I say we're looking, I'm looking.
Mhm.
Yeah, how are we gonna do this? And that's an option, is to have the households start separating this stuff again. Okay, if we can remove,
So the
say
households
cardboard
are
and paper,
are okay.
those are saleable products up here, okay? The glass, you'd have to grind it out, but that's the only way that it's any good. Glass is sand, let's face it, it's not good sand.
15 years.
And every day, Dank uses sand. Some of that sand is ground glass sand from Jefferson County. They have to they are required that at day's end to cover what they deposited in the form of trash that day. There's gotta be a cover on it like that. And ground glass looks pretty good. With that as well as, sand. But, I do think that, for lack of a better way of doing it, that's gonna have to be considered. It's, cut out the single stream and go back to, putting it in separate bags.
Okay, thank you,
Welcome to progress.
thank you.
I've got something to say. So, is it okay to speak? Okay, so, Waste Stream, I worked for them on their Waste Stream and whatever it's called now. They got zero sort, where you basically throw lots of stuff in the trash and they don't have to separate it. It gets ground up and separated, and I don't see why, that approach isn't being taken. I mean, it seems to work for them, and, our company, we throw all kinds of different stuff in it. And it's not, somehow they manage it.
What's your question?
See, if Waste Stream or whatever the heck it's called now.
Waste Stream is countrywide, number one. They got Boku bucks, number two. Do you have any idea what it would cost to bring in the equipment, to house the equipment, to staff, provide staff that is needed to operate the equipment? And how would St. Lawrence County pay for that? That's a standalone operation there. It's not run through the St. Lawrence County budget.
I know.
It's paid for by the users. So, if we got an increase from $10 to $110 in the space of a year, you can imagine, if we had to buy something like that, install it, staff it, and I mean, I have no idea what something like that would
I'm
cost.
not saying St. Lawrence County, I mean, take the big picture, combine some of it, because. I mean, you're talking fortunes already.
So Joe, you're saying that on top of me paying my trash man to remove refuse from my house, I'm also contributing tax dollars and you have to pay for it again, even after it's taken away. Like the county, not you, us, the county has to pay for it again. After.
Well, actually, no. The tipping fee covers the transportation cost. And right now, the tipping fee is not a bone of contention. It's manageable. But every single day, we're putting an 18-wheel tractor trailer on the road. With 30,000 pounds of recyclables on it going to Syracuse. And that's every day, every winter day, every snowy day, every day. We don't have the capacity, trucking capacity, to hold on to that stuff for any more than 3 or 4 days. The same goes with our garbage, the solid waste.
So it's true, after I pay to have it removed from my property, the county pays to take care of it after that.
But the person delivering the garbage has to pay the county to take. Right. That's where it pays, yeah,
Yeah.
for a lot of money.
We could carry this on.
Yes, and I-
Another hour.
Yeah,
The only thing I'll say, back when I was a kid, a lot of stuff was homegrown, there was not so much packaging, it wasn't so much of a problem. But we love our
Plastic.
niceties and our easy things to use, so this is the consequence. Okay,
Yes.
move on. Thank you. Anything else, Joe?
there's actually quite a lot, Sean would have getting.
Well, you, speaking of recycling, early part of your report was recycling from last month.
Yeah,
You did tell us about it, what you already.
Oh, is that right? yeah, I'm afraid you're a little late pointing that out.
Okay. Can you capsulize the last part here?
Uh,
Like a reader's
Yeah,
digest?
I think you sort of got the gist of things. Is that we've had a sales tax that's come in very well for the last 2 years. What we've decided to do is to hopefully do things that we normally couldn't do. Buy equipment, make renovations. There are other things, we've got a parking problem out there. How do we solve that? Do we have to build a parking garage out there? Or do we buy up land to make bigger parking lots? I don't know, that's a problem that we've got. We're running out of room, we've got a jail, an old jail that's sat there now since the new one was put into use. It's historic, it has value to the county, but nothing has been done to it other than dump everything that you could inside of it. It's getting cleaned out now. It's going to get a new roof. And we're looking and exploring ways to better utilize that. In addition to that, we're looking at the old jail and the recreation yard that was put up there for the inmates. We're looking at tearing that down. We're looking at a couple of other structures in line with that near a loading ramp that a tractor trailer has an extreme amount of difficulty just getting in there and trying to offload what they're bringing into the county. And we're looking at now taking where are we gonna put all these people once all the parking spaces are gone? Where are they gonna park? I mean, you've got to provide for them. That's gonna come up. I have no idea what a parking garage costs, but I'll bet it ain't cheap. And it's all these other little things that come up. What's it gonna cost to demolish some of these structures? And what's it gonna cost to build new ones?
In the infinite wisdom of the county, how do they look at the future of the sales tax?
I don't think that you need a crystal ball. I don't know how to operate one, to be honest with you. But listen, the past 2 or 3 years, I think everybody, all governments in the county have benefited significantly with the amount that we received in sales tax that was not budgeted. Everything that wasn't budgeted gets passed out to the towns and villages in the city of Augsburg. We sent out a check, a total check for $3,025,000 in sales tax that came into the county that was not budgeted for. That went out through the towns. I'm sure you must have already gotten yours, as well as other. And I'll tell you, it's a significant amount of money for all of the towns. It's something that you don't plan on because there's no way to plan on it. You don't know how people are going to spend their money in order to generate that sales tax. So
Okay, I
hard
was
to
just
say.
really picking on you on that one. So, anything else, Joe?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. You name Joe? We'll move on to Bridget Nevin has the floor.
As director of the library, I'm always pleased to be in front of the town and thank you for your. You didn't. You don't want to stand up? Joe didn't. Do I have to
Oh,
stand
I'd like to torture you.
up? Not tortured, but standing up.
What's happening to all of us?
Doing that.
Can you hear her back there?
We heard each other.
Really?
As I was saying, as director of the library, I'm happy to be here and thank you all in person for your continued support of the library and its functions. Especially Dean and his crew who are snapped to it when we need them. They're there taking care of us. Thank you, Dean. But tonight I'm wearing a different hat. Tonight I'm wearing the Rights of Nature hat. Rights of nature is essentially human rights applied to ecosystems. It refocuses environmental law around the idea that nature, wholly or partly, entire ecosystems or individual species have fundamental rights to exist, persist, maintain, and regenerate its vital cycles. It gives nature legal standing, the right to challenge the conduct of another in court, allowing its interests to be argued by human representatives before the law. There are, to be sure, environmental laws and regulations currently in place to prevent much of the degradation that could occur, but they largely legalize environmental harms. They regulate how much pollution or how much destruction of nature can occur under the law. Parts per million, we've all heard it. Rather than preventing pollution and environmental destruction, our environmental laws allow and permit it. How the rights of nature would look here would be up to the town. In many areas, 2 people are selected to act on nature's behalf, serving as observers as well as gatekeepers, ensuring that important threats are brought to the town's attention and trivial concerns do not open the town to a flurry of frivolous lawsuits. In a world manhandled by growingly unaccountable multinational corporations, private equity firms, hedge funds, and vulture capitalists with no ties to or love of our river, our relationship with nature requires a renewed approach to an old notion, invigorated by a groundswell of public awareness and support. By passing a resolution supporting the rights of nature, Morristown, through this symbolic gesture, will be advocating for the future well-being of the St. Lawrence River and setting an inspirational course for others to follow. It is our hope, the rights of nature, it is the rights of nature hope that inspirational symbolic gestures by the 6 river towns being asked this month for their support will expose their neighbors to the worldwide movement and promote a paradigm shift in how they see nature and the laws currently in place meant to ensure its protection. Rights of nature said symbolic because the legal ramifications of the resolution remain largely non-existent, primarily because of preemption laws. Calling for the rights of nature need to happen at a much higher level of government to succeed in court. Basically, for this to be something other than symbolic, this would have to come from Congress and do federal law. But the hopes of rights of nature is that the small towns along the river communities start other small towns and the public involvement in protecting the nature in their communities creates the need for Congress to pass just that such law. Did everybody get these papers in their packet?
Yeah,
Example.
is the intent to put pressure on,
More so?
no. Put pressure on Congress by a groundswell of this, is that what the idea is?
Basically, but this is very grassroots. The only, I mean, this is happening around the world in 25 countries so far. A lot of indigenous tribal nations as well in the United States, but locally, and please have your lawyer speak to Potsdam about it. The only local town that I know that has passed this is Potsdam in response to the Racket River. Any other questions?
No, I was reading
Oh, okay.
the resolution itself, trying to.
May I sit down?
Wait, yeah.
Oh, we wanted you to do a somersault into
I actually can still. I have to take my glasses off.
Okay, I believe that we would probably have to study this. Talk to legal.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I expected that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rich, you have the floor.
So once again, we're requesting the Main Street area between the post office and the museum be closed for Monday night music concerts. And I believe that most of you that have attended have been pleased with the turnout, and we've had a great attendance jump because of it. And normally they want to be on Mondays, but there will be a couple of Saturday events too. And there were a few complaints about the signage, perhaps about the signage, and the town was very gracious to let us use their barricades and signage. And I don't know if we can continue to rely on that, or whether we might be expected to provide some of our own.
They petered right on.
We can supply what we did last year.
They don't need to.
Yes, you brought the request to the right person.
So the complaint that, or two that we had was, saying that the road was closed and some people that thought that meant they couldn't even walk in, so I don't know how we would, kind of resolve that. It seems like it's pretty straightforward, all they had to do was walk a couple blocks to get to work, but I guess there were, a couple hundred people, you're gonna have maybe 1% or two that might complain. I didn't know if a detour sign that, for instance, the intersection of Water, I think it's Water Street in Maine, whether a detour would tell people to go around. But I guess we'll just have to see if any further complaints issue. But I don't know if perhaps you, members of the board, have received some complaints or what.
I have,
The only one I ever did was when you just put the road closed sign all the way up to where you are, and people, once they get up there, they can't turn around, because there's no room to turn around, they have to back all the way back out, so. That's why I think we started road closed ahead sign, that helps a little bit.
That's helpful.
Put it back by,
And I think you started doing it towards the end of last year, was especially when towards later on ones that when it starts getting dark, that you park some cars across the road, because just those plastic barricades and we see it out on the road, we put road closed signs and barricades and people, well, I need to get through here, well, how should we get here, because we went through the road closed sign. Well, we went around those barricades, well.
we just don't want anybody to run over, so the best thing like these, I put a couple cars crossways. To block anybody coming, so they can't.
Because you guys are sitting there just paying attention, the car comes either direction, especially around this way is more apt. Around that corner.
Right.
So that would be a good
I
suggestion.
would
for him.
suggest
yeah, maybe
That'd be a good thing, Rich.
you get bothered by somebody that wants to get a new car.
And that's what we do, even on our, when we're out on the road, we try to take equipment and angle it, they're down in the ditch working or something, so. It happens.
Yeah.
We'll try and implement that, and then, any other issues that have developed about this?
Nothing is brought to my knowledge. I pro what you're doing.
The Monday nights were selected because, there weren't, the restaurants weren't generally going to be open. But on the Saturday, it's a little different story, so, hopefully our precautions, if we take them correctly, will, alleviate those kind of problems, but, you all get some complaints.
We can work on that, you could get like a road closed ahead, local traffic only, type thing, where they know they could go around it, but.
We have that new fabulous alert system on your website
Yeah,
about road closures.
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's the people traveling from their establishment or.
Thank you for this opportunity. We appreciate all the promotion that the organization has for keeping us down.
You can't leave, you have to have you.
Memo note, we'll put on next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
We'll move on to old business. No. Nope, you know what? Right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump down because we have someone here that has to travel a little bit. We're going to move into and talk about the new business amendment number 4. You have the floor.
All right, good evening. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, give you a recap on where we're at with the water project. So the vote was held, at my school, making the motion for that. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful, so the district was not formed. So the ramifications of that, are we reached out to the funding agencies, so you guys may know that you have a $5 million grant and the balance of 0% loan, which is a very good funding package, without having an expansion, and a picking up a public water source and getting consolidation points. The funding agencies did say that you will lose that $5 million grant as well as the financing for that project, as it was shaped as an expansion project. So that's not great news, but you know, we wanted to get back in front of you guys, to try to put a plan together and let you know what we were thinking for the existing improvements to your guys' water system. So we've had some ups and downs with the expansion. But the real reason this all came about was the existing system still needs attention and needs work with the water plant. And whatnot, so. We talked with the funding agencies on. The project scoring, when you take away the expansion points and the consolidation points, what that would mean as far as where it scores on that list. Because what's gonna happen is. The project will have to get relisted as the improvements of the scope of just the improvements in itself. So to do that, the PER will need to get revised basically to detail that out. And that is what our amendment in front of you is for, is our work to basically revise that report and then relist it with the funding agencies to try to get some funding reallocated for the project. So we did discuss with EFC representatives, and they did let us know with the expansion points that if we can pick up five houses that currently use their private wells at some point throughout the year, we can get allocated those points for the system. So we worked with Dean and Jill. There are some folks over on Riverview Street. They do hook onto the municipal water during the summertime. However, it is a temporary line. They do rely on private wells outside of the summer months when they can use that water pipe. So the idea would be that, and it is within the existing water district number 1 already, the folks that are doing this. So they aren't entirely hooked up to the system. They do have wells. So and there is more than 5 on that road, as well as I think Bay Street had a couple people, potential people that are not hooked up. So we feel that if we do revise the report, we can show that there are 5 connections. You can get those additional points, and that will put you in a much better spot to secure the funding. It could even be similar to what you guys have already had. Again, a $5 million grant and a 0% loan. Those expansion points are important to be able to secure that. There's actually 2 programs that offer that 5 million and 0%, so the opportunity is there more so than it has ever been. So we are encouraging the board to keep pushing the existing system project forward and getting the report revised. There is a deadline on when we need to list the report to be eligible for funding this year. It's June 14th. So we do have a little bit of work to do to meet that deadline. It is achievable if we start. So the goal though is to essentially get the project shaped again into the report, get it listed with the funding agencies, and hopefully hear back in the fall on a funding package from those agencies again. So I think that's basically the recap on that. If anyone has any questions.
I know on Bay Street, I know there's definitely 3 for water, so 4 that definitely want it, that are gonna be building there. So
Okay,
we can put that down.
yeah, definitely.
There's 4 lots for solar, all 4 want water, so.
Right. So then that would be the goal is to show these people and to show that they do want municipal water, and you know, being in the existing water district already, there's no district formation process that would be required. So that'll save us time when we can meet this deadline to be able to.
So was
to
Bay
do the
Street on
project.
that project?
Yeah.
That is.
Yep, yeah, so the existing improvements project included
That'll
a
be-
transmission main around Bay Street, so that we have 2 points of transmission main from the water plant over to the water tower.
Yeah, right, I recall that, because it was, it left it in peril if there was only the one source over.
Yeah, I mean, any issues with that, transmission main underneath the cut there, and, you guys will be in some bit of trouble there, so we like to have redundancy, especially with something like that.
We just gotta make a motion to do that.
We have. Before it, a resolution.
There's a copy of the agreement in the packet.
We need a motion to accept the agreement.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
David,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Chris.
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. The motion carries unanimously, so.
Alright, thanks, guys.
We got you. You have your next marching orders.
Yes, yeah, so we'll make it happen. Hopefully we hear some good news.
Very good. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. So there, any other questions before I take off?
Yeah, how much did the amendment cost?
It's $5,000. Anything else?
I would only say that we cannot continue without revising, rebuilding the new thing, so it's funny that I don't see we have any choice but spending. So, okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
I'll get to that.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
We'll jump back up to old business. We want to have the balance sheet of the financial report in the packet. For review. And then we have. No, it's always a few days late. So that's. That would be table. Item number 3 is the local law. We need to set a public hearing for that local law number 1 for 2024, the junk law. Bill and I discussed a couple of dates. What's with this, Bill?
you said Friday, March 22nd at 6 p.m.
That's what I'd like to do the sooner we do that for books.
And the other option was Monday, the 25th at, I'm not sure how long will zoning go.
The hearing will not be, would not be confrontatious, contentional. It should just be a very short meeting. I fully suspect. You good with, are you good with Friday?
What date?
Friday, the 22nd or Monday, the 20th.
Why are we doing this before the next meeting?
Pardon?
Why are we doing this?
Because
before
every day
our-
is important.
It's already, they passed
We passed.
they approved the revisions that Andy gave us last month. But we have to set the hearing.
But to get it into law, you have to have hearing. And I hear enough about junk around town, but every day is important.
I won't be here any of those days. That's the difference.
I'll bring them.
Well, you're aware of it, whether, yeah, so. We have some consensus on a date,
You want the random,
okay. I propose that we have it on, we do it on that Friday.
And would you just name the date again?
It's 22nd.
22nd, 6 p.m. is that?
22nd at 6 p.m. So you said.
That's what,
Yeah.
that's what Franklin said.
I'm gonna split this bit up.
Calamari. A few that left over, this is calamari.
Okay, so we have set the date for the hearing. We'll now, with that, we'll move down into item number 2 under new business is the joint recreation agreement, which we.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Do for us every year. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Roll call.
David,
Alright,
Gary,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye, the motion carries. I will get it signed and then you can get it to Stacy Vaughn for their signature. With that, we'll move into department reports. Madam Clerk.
Okay, so the advertisement for the assistant bookkeeper, deputy court clerk, utility billing clerk position has been advertised. Applications are due back in my office by 4 o'clock on Monday, the 25th. Just a reminder, fishing season is approaching. Licenses are available in the office. The parking ban will be lifted on April 1st. We've added some community events to the website, so for any of the local organizations that want anything on there, please let us know. We can get them posted. Currently, we have 97 individuals signed up for the Civic Ready Alerts. So we know we have lots more people than 97. So spread the word, get them to sign up on our website, and hopefully we don't.
That's great.
We haven't had to use the alert system yet, but we do know it's ready and it's ready to go whenever we do need it.
Can you tell who's on it? I don't know if I'm on it.
You have been added on it through an internal. Yes, the entire board members, all the committee meetings.
You
Yeah.
read the letter.
Can't figure it out.
So that's pretty much it.
Thank you for all your.
Yep.
For your hard work this past month. Yeah, we can move to highway department.
No, that's your.
Highway's been good, the weather's been great. I've, the most I've seen in 20 years left in the salt and sand barn. Will be a plus come fall. Water and sewer's been good. We've, still have not yet to receive all the parts for the water plant. We're every day with them on the phone. Steve from the bank is, he looped me in the emails now, and I mean, that guy, they probably just see his, but hopefully they keep telling us 2 weeks, but we know how the 2 week thing goes.
It's sort of like the sign over the bar.
Yeah.
Pretty near, tomorrow.
Tomorrow never comes, right? So yeah, other than that, the highway barn is coming good. Frank, did you send those pictures to Mark?
Absolutely did.
Okay. He sent me another message.
I was up there today, it took more.
Good more, good. Yeah, I encourage any of the board members, even the public, to stop by. They're there pretty much every day working. It's coming along nice. The outside is, I think, just about 99% done on the contractor's parts. The inside is coming nice. Most of the liner panels are up. It's insulated. They've been wiring all week. Some of the lights were hung today.
So the final sheet is on a couple of, on the ceiling, on a couple of the.
Yes, yeah,
sections,
all the, yep, inside liner, yep. So yeah, it's coming along good.
They're moving cinder blocks, so I guess they haven't moved, but they've got to move so that they can put them where they need.
Right, so they didn't want to stack them all on sides, they just bring in like a pallet or two a
They
day.
gotta do this.
Yeah. So a pallet a day, and they bring them. That should, so where our offices all were, that is all block. They're hoping to be done by the end of the week or the first part of the next, and all that. It's going along good.
Yes.
Are we coming on budget or?
So we're working with Mark right now to get another pretty good chunk. I've submitted everything. He was waiting for some pictures. We're on the depreciation side of it, which he didn't see any problems with what I've sent him as far as the contracts. I just have to get one signed from the electrician. Yeah. And submit that to him, and then if they ask for anything else, I think we're prepared to give them anything, so. I don't, and he was waiting on pictures. They wanted to see pictures of them.
It was we had a little kerfuffle on that, I thought, but
Frank thought it was sent to me, and I didn't see it, so he sent it directly to me.
I would send it directly to Mike. What? Well, like I said, I grabbed some. So. Okay, thank you, Dean. Code enforcement officer, one of your last.
I am. Slow month for the office as far as permits. I've been trying to address my files and make the transition as smooth as I can that way. And just plugging away with what's out there.
Yeah, this is probably a good time to announce that yesterday, we interviewed for his replacement. We offered the position to someone. We sent them home with the employee handbook to review. So that they knew exactly what they were agreeing to, and then they're going to get back to us. And it's Thompson. Lisa Newby Thompson, who lives down in Terrace Park, I understand, her husband. It was her mother years ago, used to be the town clerk. So, right, and so then we move on to report. No report, on assessment, yes. There is for your review. Town historian, is there?
Yeah, you got one in there.
We had one in there too. Obviously, I got here in 11 hours, so I didn't get to review this, so that's available for you. And the dogs, nothing about dogs, so. Does any of the board have any other business to bring for us at this point?
Just the street lights, or we get them lined up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you do that.
I haven't.
Dean said, you did tell me that like you had a conversation about additional document challenge.
Yeah, he's actually. We were trying to-
Okay,
I'm all that.
Yeah. See if we can do that. That's what we got.
okay, with that, yes, sir.
Could I just make a couple comments? I should have done it
No,
earlier, but I just I want to say two things. One is I want to thank Dean and Public Works for being so responsive to everybody on our road for sure, and probably throughout the town. The most recent thing that we've had happen is people are in the habit of butchering deer and then leaving the remains near that parking lot, the lower parking lot for the Red Barn trails. And it's not the first time it's happened, but they were just really helpful in taking care of that, and it really, I don't think, was on the right of way. So they went out of their way, maybe it's illegal that they cleaned it up. The people on our road certainly.
Here wasn't bad with the bags of fish.
Certainly appreciate it. Is that right? And I saw the guys when they were coming out looking for it, and I asked them if it was their favorite job. I asked them if their favorite job, and they said no.
put some trail cans up there.
Yeah. And the other thing is I wanted to just say that as a person who's been complaining probably more than I should be about the website, it really is getting really nice to work with, and I want to thank people who are working on that too. It's much more usable, and it's kind of a pleasure to go to it. So
Well, Jill and Deb Pinger has put a lot forward on that. Deb is very talented.
It's really
It
a
doesn't
dramatic improvement.
It can get taken care of right when she comes in the office. It's not like sending her out someplace and waiting for it to come back. Yeah, she's a gem.
So thank you to both departments.
Nothing else? If not,
Oh, we got one hand back there.
I just like to say, we've got more people coming all the time. Is there some reason why we can't get some kind of a PA system? Because the lady, I have hearing aids, other people doing, we're all listening to her speak. Yeah, like you. And why we can't get some kind of a PA system here? In this, for our monthly meetings and whatever other meetings you have in here. I mean, I think it's just courtesy to everybody to hear what's going on. And I think it's time that we have more people coming to the meetings, and I think you're gonna find more people coming to your meetings. If they can hear whatever else is going on, I mean, even for the people on the board. And Mr. Putnam, just like you, your voice is very soft. And it doesn't hear you well. Now, if Dean would do all the talking for you, we have no problem with that.
I don't know, but that's the way I don't speak, the volume isn't very loud.
I'm not picking on you on this.
No, I know you're not.
Time we need a PA system in this.
Sometimes I try to remember to speak up, but usually not.
I mean, I don't think they're that expensive.
Unless I get fired up. So, okay, well, we will look into that. We appreciate your input. You heard me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I heard that. But some of the softer, like the lady from the library, that was very hard for a lot of people. I knew.
It's always, it's worse than when half of the people are at your back.
Right, understand. That's why I'm asking for a
Yeah.
PA system here so people can hear.
Okay, with that, if there's no other business, entertain a motion to adjourn. The meeting is adjourned.
Mary.
Sorry, that's it. Parking lot, it's here, like, set up.
Way to get ghosted.
Oh, I know. I just, you came on the phone. I asked you if it was from the jury or something. How are you gonna take it? So, yeah, they're great.
I had that down there. Why was my- They shouldn't, right? Doesn't that?
That's huge.
So I don't know. I ended up shutting it down.
It's not Oh my God, I'm very small ears. You're right. But it'll still allow.
Do you know, do you have any?
It's fine, I have to, I push the button, silence it. When I do that, since my silence is on.
Yeah, I got a little.
That's how I turn it on and off.
I don't know.
Yeah. That does make sense, because that's what I've always done. I don't know if there's.
I mean, I know when I turn my volume down, you can't hear anything. It doesn't ring, it doesn't. send
Yeah,
messages.
it never has. That's what I always.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Just so
Back to the drawing. Sorry about that.
I know, that's fine.
No, but I mean.